I am a link in this chain.
I am a link in this chain.
And it won't break here.
And it won't break here.
I am a link in this chain.
I am a link in this chain.
And it won't break here.
And it won't break here.
We are links in this chain.
We are links in this chain.
And we won't break here.
And we won't break here.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right, brothers, we're talking about starting your own business. How many brothers in here have a business? Oh, man. There it is. Let's give it up for black men starting business.
How many brothers would like to start a business? All right.
There it is.
All right.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? Good. I'm Tex Rover. I own a couple of businesses, primarily a consulting business. I do federal and EPA compliance, whether it's state or the federal level. And I partner up with a couple of other companies. I'm partnered up with Lonnie Johnson. Some of you all may know who he is. He invented the Super Soaker. So I'm partnered up with him in a EV battery that we developed, electric vehicle battery, and then some other things that I do, turn your pleasures into profit, and I did that with my hats, and I named it after my parents, and I got a buddy sitting next to me over here who helps me out with that brand as well. So thank you for having me.
What's up, gentlemen? My name is Eldridge, CEO of Just Eldridge Media, full-scale production company, where we specialize in videography, photography, podcast production, and documentaries, as well as the EW Group, where I consult nonprofits and business owners on brand development, systems, and operations. So glad to be here.
Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing? Good, man. My name is Jay White.
I do everything.
So I own a few businesses, primarily in this season a nonprofit called Nation of Gentlemen, and then brick and mortar pedicabs ATL, which are electric bikes that transport people around the city. We do tourism, and we also do food, beverage, and product distribution. We use those bikes to do those things as well, but just a serial, I don't even want to say serial entrepreneur. I do a lot of things, but it's all tied to purpose. So as we have this conversation tonight, really want to talk about purpose in business and being a good steward, right? We want to talk about some stewardship. Like, I'm learning some things, so that's me for now.
How y'all brothers doing? Nice to meet y'all. This is my first time. I thank my friend Turner Davis, been knowing him for years, to invite me out. I'm glad to be here. I'm Sherrod Rutland. I'm from Decatur. Just to tell you that. Where it's greater. But I'm gonna tell you, I have many talents, man. I thank God for. I have many businesses. I'm a TV and film producer, Bench Press Productions. I'm a playwright. I have a construction company. I do the events for the airport. Me and my wife do. I have my own wine. I just came in on a 28 Black energy drink. So I got my hands in a little everything. But it is amazing to be here to share this, because starting your own business, it starts with you, and starts with your thinking and you thinking the right way and knowing that you can get there regardless. But thank you for being here, and I'm glad to be here also.
I'm the owner of Perfect Timing Media, a full-service media company. That was my first business. That's my passion. But I really got into the nonprofit space. I started Action Network of Atlanta, which stands for Achieving Change Through Innovating Our Neighborhoods, in 2009, and in 2019, I started Care for Georgia, which is Cannabis Access Reform and Education. Organized cannabis in 2017, and I've kind of found my lane on how I can, fulfill my purpose. You know what I mean? In 2020, I learned the term social entrepreneur, and that's a real thing that was in the Plum Book. And so I said, well, wow, they got it in the Plum Book for the White House. That must be a real thing. So I think I love the social entrepreneur space, where I try to give back more than I take profit, but I'm also learning more about wealth building. So my tenure of trying to make profit is now more about wealth building.
For those that are starting or looking to start their own business, I think it's important that we have that beginning piece, that conversation, right? So can you all tell us, what was it that made you determine that you wanted to start your own business, and how you went about that? Anybody can answer.
Well, I used to work for the city of Atlanta, and I realized that some of the things that I was doing in my hustle I learned how to start a business, and when you learn how to start a business and you needed nobody to get behind you, I just kept going. And so I tell students that turn your hustle to a business when you find out the business aspect of what your hustle is, where you can actually go to the Secretary of State, file, get an EIN number, establish yourself. We can start paying other people, you know, and still making a profit. That's the part that just became a driver, how to stay profitable or what you're doing in your calling. If you're learning how to make money or turn a service into a good, just different aspects. So I'm just more of a creator on my end. So I employ people to just take their talents and their gifts that if money wasn't a factor, you would probably do it for free. That's probably more the lane that you should be in terms of how you do entrepreneurship and you learn how to make more money in that space.
For me, I started a business. Well, actually, I've been free since I was 12. I like to say free. I like my time and being able to do with my time whatever I want to do with my time. So I started as a barber when I was 12, and I haven't looked back ever since. Like, I've only known freedom for real. And for me, that's what it was, just to be free. Even though I work light years harder for what I'm building versus what somebody else wants me to build for them, right? I am also retired with an airline here that's based here in Atlanta. I don't want to give them a plug, but I'm retired from an airline where I worked literally 2 days a week for 12 years. Strategically, I took that type of employment because it furthered my vision and what I was looking to do, right? It helped me to be able to literally move all around the world. And in that moving around the world, it gave me more exposure, it gave me more freedom, and it gave me more opportunities to bring situations back to the community. And now some things are happening as a result of that.
I just like touch bases on that. You know, my dad used to tell me, boy, you looking at the wrong mailbox and passing up the right house. And I used to always look down the street, and my blessings were really right up under my nose. I would say anything to you, anybody that's willing to listen in the ecosystems that I've been part of. We got to turn our pleasures into profit. How do you scale? What do you do easily and monetize it? Because that's typically your gift. Far too often we look at other people doing their walk and we try to emulate them and say, I want to make T-shirts and I want to do this and I want to do that. When your calling may have just been something simplistic, but you can monetize it into the millions. Everybody got shoelaces on in here for the most part. Imagine being a manufacturer for the shoelaces for all the shoes. It's pennies on the dollars, but when you take a penny times a million, you see I'm going with this? So I share that to say just what the brother alluded to right here is, turning your passions into profit. That's one thing that I've been doing. And when I started, it was merely for a void. I saw a void in something that we needed as a people. For instance, when WSB TV was on news and they was behind the kitchen door and they was closing down the mom and pop restaurants, I would set my TV to record it every day. And I would go to those mom and pop restaurants and I would assist them in getting their doors back open. I would leverage my consulting company and assistant to helping those restaurants because they 9 times out of 10 was feeding half of the neighborhoods on a low budget kind of income deal. So I made it a point to do that. So I filled the void, I was fulfilling a passion, and I was running my business at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense.
Is that I had my own business as an electrician. I was an electrician also, man. I mean, when I'm just gonna say for me, when I met my wife, my business took off. You know, actually, everybody have that thing in them. You just have to find it, your purpose, and pull it out you. Everybody was born with something. You got something I don't have, I got something you don't have. But you have to find what that it is. And you have to get around those type of people to understand, to learn how to train that it, whatever it is in you. When I did get with my wife, she introduced me to another business. We have a event center right across from Target off La Vista Road. If you come out of Target, that big glass building, that's mine. I didn't know nothing about events. So I'm saying this to say you have it in you too, but if you meet a good woman, she gonna water what you have, and you're gonna understand that it's a little bit more. It's not just having somebody to coach you, but a good woman will bring that out you. You know what I mean? So I can say I'm an author, and when I got with her, that's how I got with Tyler Perry and all these people, NBC, because of her. Even though I was in the TV and film back in the early 90s, but when I met her, she was running, and I was jogging. So I had to run to keep up with her. And as I ran to keep up with her, I started, just money coming, businesses coming. And the thing about her, and I'm not here to talk about it, but just to let you know, she let me be me. I be me, I'm the man. But it also helped open up them doors that I didn't know I had, and them businesses, ideas that I didn't know I had. Now I'm finna take off like a rocket. Thank you.
Good job. Guys, I'm sorry, I just got in. He said, my name is Darren Gale. I'm a neighbor of his, he don't know that, I'm telling him that now. My company is Georgia Gifts and More. And what we do is we specialize in Georgia-themed items. Now, if you ever visit a Hampton Inn in the state of Georgia, there's something called the Hilton Honors Rewards Program. Anybody familiar with that? Okay. With that program, they have something they call rewards. And to each one of their clients that receives these rewards, they have a local snack. It's called Georgia Peach Jelly Beans, Peach Gummies, Georgia Peanuts. Well, Hilton hotels have been purchasing those products from my company for the past 10 years. And me and my wife started out, believe it or not, in the home. We started out as a home-based business. We were strictly internet. And now we have grown to a multi-million-dollar company. So when the Hawks, the Braves, the Falcons, they get new players, or my company customized gift baskets for those players. So first thing I gotta say, as an entrepreneur, you gotta believe in yourself first. And when I speak, because I go around speaking about entrepreneurship, one of the things that you first gotta do is you gotta have an idea. And with that idea has to solve a problem. Once that idea solves the problems, also it has to be an idea that people are willing to pay for. And once you get that going, those few things in the very beginning, you continue to cultivate, you continue to study, you continue to learn, you continue to do your research, and the sky is the limit.
Have a significant other that helps you move forward positively. All right. So my testimony is very similar. We started our law firm. It was Mowley Davis and Associates, and the associate was my wife, who's not a lawyer. Right? She after we finished, she became a school teacher, but it starts definitely with, because who you attach yourself to can either lift you or drag you down. And so that's important. And we don't always talk about that when we talk about starting businesses. So I'm really glad these brothers lifted that up, that we have to be conscious of who we're choosing to be engaged with, because this is a 16, 18-hour, a day kind of situation. And you got to have somebody who is gonna rock with you, that's gonna believe in you, and say things that encourage you and not break your spirit. So I just wanted to again, I'm glad they raised that up. Let's open it up for questions from everybody. Questions?
Peace, brothers. Thank you so much for your time and just the work that you do for our communities. My name is Brother Quillanell. I wanted to ask, if you have so many different things or skills or talents that you can be able to move forward on, how do you choose what is the right one to move with at a certain time and move forward with that as far as making that a business? And also, would you be able to explain the differences between an LLC and an S corporation as far as those benefits?
So I answer your first one clear. When it comes to your business, which one you want to go to? Raise your hand if you got multiple ideas. Everybody got multiple ideas. We all do. One, I think you got to go with the one. If you look at your goal at financial freedom, let's just say that's our destination we all want to go to. Look at every one of your businesses like a vehicle. What vehicle is already running, right? Prepared to run? What's the vehicle that you can naturally get into and start making money right now? Then what's the fastest vehicle? Because you might have a business to start a t-shirt company, that's getting a press, that's getting that, or you got a business becoming a water bottle manufacturer. You know what I'm saying? Which one is easier to do? So for me, when it comes to your business, I think you take a clear evaluation of your current resources and which one can I monetize the fastest. Because sometimes we get bogged down on trying to do the biggest ideas. And you got something, like you said, you got something just sitting right under your nose and you looking over it because you're trying to reach over here. Which vehicle can move the fastest? That's my idea and my suggestion.
That's good, man. That's rich. So as a serial, what's called a serial entrepreneur, again, I preface by saying, talking about all of the different things that I do and being a steward. What can I be the best steward over when I use my gifts and talents? Stewardship is, if I give you $10, how are you going to spend that $10? Are you going to waste it? Or are you going to use it for something that is, can get you 20 or get you 30? Like, being a good steward is taking what God gives you and making sure that you safeguard it so that, it can flourish and you're not squandering it. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't squander anything that was put into my hands. And I haven't been the best steward over a lot of things in my life, right? Which has been trial and error. But I continue to cultivate the soil. I continue to get on my face and pray about it, right? And I also realize, and this is probably one of the most important things that I realize in business, number one, even though I'm a steward, I've learned to love nothing. Love nothing. And keep your hands open. That way, if God wants to take something out, it ain't a fight. If God wants to put something in, it ain't a fight, right? And when you do that, when I operate business that way, it's seasons for me. Now, I'm not saying it's seasons for everybody, but in the scriptures it talks about it only being 2 seasons, seed time and harvest time. It's only 2. It's when you plant and the next time is the harvest. Now, we don't know how long that season is going to be, right, until you see the harvest, but those are the 2 seasons, right? And just to speak on your LLC and S Corp and C Corp question, LLC, for those who are not aware, stands for Limited Liability Company, which does just that. It limits your liability. So if somebody wants to sue your business, it's only a certain amount that they can get, right? They can't come and take your personal house, or, you know what I mean? You can safeguard yourself. You can limit your liability. So somebody's, God forbidden, you have a brick and mortar and somebody come in your place and they slip and fall and kill themselves, right? Well, they can't send you to jail. They got to sue the company, right? And whatever assets the company has, then they can go after that, but they can't come after your personal. And S Corp and C Corp are similar, but they don't protect you as much. They don't protect your business as much. It comes back to you. And a lot of it is couched in how you pay your taxes. That's going to determine what type of corporation you build based on your tax covering or your umbrella, because we all got to pay taxes still. It's just how you able to navigate the system and keep most of what you make?
Okay, that was funny. I just opened up a trust, but actually, that's what the other people doing. They're putting their money in that trust. They're putting their stuff in them trusts, them houses in the trust. So I had to go down to the county and file some papers. Then I went to the bank and opened up my trust, but I had to get somebody to get me to that point.
I had an elder that passed away, had a boatload of money, and it was a daggone cat fight. All right, it was bad. I didn't even deal with it. But as what he alluded to, I want to be able to protect my earnings and my hard work. Though I don't want to force my goals and aspirations on my kids, I still want them to be able to have the capital to pursue their own. Now, they're not going to always get along, so that trust will ensure whatever I left or leave is going to go to the appropriate person. Now, he did tell me something that there was a generational coverage, whereas I can go 2 generations past. So I can set some stuff up from not only my kids, my grandkids, and their kids. And if they're not abiding by what I lay down in the trust, then they can exonerate themselves and get out of it on their own because they didn't do their due diligence on what I laid out for them. That makes sense? Yeah, so that's the high-vis surface of what I got so far.
Black man. I wanted you all, if you don't mind, to speak to soft skills and or business ethics. I think that's really important for the young people and the aspiring entrepreneurs to learn about and talk about. We all talk about the hustle and the grind, and hustle has several different connotations, right? Working hard, being resourceful, but there's also some unethical pieces to that. And I think that's really important for us to understand collectively, again, especially young people, especially from my perspective when dealing with our people. So if you can speak to soft skills and business ethics.
Tell you relationship building is the strongest skill set you can learn. And let me explain to you why. So I'm super excited. I just finished my manuscript for a book I'm gonna release next year, and it's titled How to Turn a Handshake to a Paycheck. 10 networking gems you must know. And y'all gotta realize I'm from Monroe, Georgia. That's population 13,437 people. And I moved here in 2008 with 250 business cards and a domain name that didn't work. And when I tell you relationship building is what got me there, people spend money for 2 reasons. They either spend money for something they like or someone they like. And if you got both of them, that's when you become a millionaire. So what I'm saying to the young people, if you really build real relationships, what I do, I have a media company. I just shot a whole documentary. Y'all seen it. I don't work a camera. I don't know how to edit. I'm a managing, I got an eye for it. I learned the industry. I manage the relationships with the vendors I work with, the relationships with the customers I get. Honestly, I could do what I'm doing if I was selling cookies. You know what I'm saying? So if you learn the relationship skill, it will take your business to a whole nother level in your relationships. It's almost where my barber's at. A barber ain't nothing about customer, that's relationship. That's why we love our barber the way we go to. That's why we don't hop chairs, because the barber forces us to build a relationship. So what I'm saying is take that same element to everywhere you do. I'm just saying that's the skill that's gonna change the life.
Okay, let me speak on it then. Okay, so again, with the bike company, right? How the bike, if you ride pedicabs or ridden pedicabs, stand up. If you've been in here, have you ridden it? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. All right, cool. So the guys who come and work at pedicabs, it's a bike company. Think of a horse and buggy, like a horse and a carriage. You got somebody riding a bike, and then they got seats in the back where you could take people around the city, right? Well, ethically, we do a split. When the guys come in, it's a split. I'm not gonna pat your pockets down. I'm not gonna tell you to break bread. I don't wanna look at your Cash App, your Apple Pay. I don't wanna look at none of that. I ask you, when you coming through the door, why are you here? If you will steal, I promise you, it's gonna meet you somewhere else. I'm not getting ready. I'm not one of those people that's gonna micromanage you. And the people who come through the door, some people have been made examples in front of people, right? Ethically, listen, if you steal, if you lie, man, your future is gonna be bleak. So I teach the principles of you reap what you sow, man. It's going to find you. So just do the right thing. I'd rather you come to me if you made a mistake than try to hide it from me. Just tell me this is what I did and let's move on. And then by doing that, I also get a chance to tell people this is not for you. But if your relationship is strong, let me call up my man over here who owns a restaurant. You probably could do good over there or behind the camera, or you know what I mean? Because we run together. If you're an entrepreneur, you got a lot of things in common. One of them is a lot of sleepless nights. You know what I mean? Because you're working your business. So I watch Rick Mathis make movies. I went to film school. I know what that life is. So if I'm going to hire you to do something, number one, I expect for you to say you'll be able to do what you say you can do, because you're going to get tried at it. And if you make mistakes, y'all, young people, man, please don't lie. Don't cheat and do not steal from people that's here to serve and help you.
Like, real talk. I started leveraging my friends. We do investment groups. I lead several different groups to help raise capital for businesses. And we typically do family and friends, the first round. A series is usually family and friends. Now, it's hard to go to somebody and say, give me 20 bands, 25,000 bands. I do $25,000 blocks in every group that I do. That's the minimum you can do when you come to do business with me. But I also offer equity into the company. When you extend the olive branch and say, hey, come on and get 3% of this company with me, I know you give me 25,000, but now when you part of the ownership of it, you kind of look at things differently. I'm not saying you got to give up some equity in your business, but sometimes you can leverage some of your percentages in your business to get capital. And if you're going to do that, then get somebody that's like-minded. They're not going to be bugging you in the next 2 weeks asking for their $5,000 back, because you know how it go, right? So write a memorandum of understanding, lay it all out, and then tell them when they're going to start seeing some of their money coming back in, however you write it up. But I don't go to banks. I learned that from a brother by the name of Mel Clemens. You can Google his name and you see who he is in Atlanta. Clemens. Yeah, he owns like several State Farm businesses or whatever, and he builds hotels. But nevertheless, he uses his family and friend concept, and I kind of ciphered that concept from him. So typically, all of us, if we got together and put our resources together and everybody had a percentage in the business, I'm sure to thrive, right? If Black Man Lab was LLC and we got paid for recruiting and getting people in for business, things of that nature, I'm sure everybody would be a little more aggressive for the primary fact that they have vested interest. I'm not, no knock to the Black Man Lab, that was just an example. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm just using that as an example because we don't do that enough. And one fundamental thing I have learned by sitting at these tables in these ecosystems, and I don't throw numbers out there, none of that, but this table I was sitting at this specific time was over $1 billion. So sometimes you gotta be the wise old owl. Y'all heard that poem? So I had to be the wise old owl and didn't say much, but I'm saying this to say that I'm gonna close on this. Families and friends first, like-minded investors second. You might have to leverage some of your equity, give up some of your company. The ouch point is typically 33%. You don't want to go no higher than that if you're leveraging some of your equity in your company. But I'm going to close in this. There's too many cliches about black-owned businesses that we want something for nothing, we want to half do the job, and we go to the other people because it's less of a headache. I challenge everyone in here what was challenged to me. We have been the most oppressed, beat up, law-abiding citizens taken outside of the realm. And why can't we provide ourselves top-notch services? If anybody deserve it, it's us. So we should provide that to each other before we go run into any other man. That's all. I'm gonna close on that, man.
The guys who I hung around in my neighborhood, we didn't have no money. So we didn't do the family and friends type situation. So I would tell the people that are starting out their business, there's money out there. Do your research. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there to find money, but also it's very important. Nobody's going to give you any money if you don't have no money. It takes money to make money. Also, nobody's going to give you any money if you don't have any credit. So you have to do your research on business credit. There's business credit, and then there's your personal credit. So I would recommend that those are some things that you.
I'm gonna give y'all some hard resources for business owners. Number one, if you're a black business owner, you need to take a visit to the Russell Center tomorrow. The Russell Center is the largest incubator for black-owned businesses in the country. They're located 504 Fair Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30313. I suggest you go there. They have, the Russell Center, also known as Rice. That's one, that's us, that's for us, by us. A second one is called SCORE, score.org. Score.org is where you can go get a free business mentor. You go on there and it has a list of business people who have been in business anywhere from 5 to 20 years, and they will mentor you for free. So my suggestion, you go on there and look for inventors on SCORE. Lastly, go to SBA. Obviously, SBA, we have a Small Business Administration here in Atlanta. They have free programming going every day, Monday through Friday. So these are also free resources. A lot of them are geared towards first-time entrepreneurs. So those are ones I just want to give you. But as far as your idea, also I want to go back to what I said earlier. When you think about like your destination is what vehicle is the fastest way to move, I think first, how do you get into the aviation business, right? Look at there's a brother called, he's in Ndungu, the brother that sell planes. You know who I'm talking about. Mike, what's his last name? Yeah, connect this brother. It's a brother that we know in our network. He actually sell planes and have a flight school. Get with somebody in the industry that can get you a little closer, and they can probably even tell you why this idea is or is not valuable right now to even pursue.
Let me just say the full name of it. So it's Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. That's what Rice spells out. It's right. Yes, we are.
Okay, there are a lot of major corporations that have grants for domestic violence, for the area that you're talking about, where you can actually go in and try to get grants for that particular area that you're talking about, and it's a whole lot more than the money that you're asking for.
For me, business insurance is it's twofold. Well, there are a couple different buckets. One in particular is making sure that the liability is covered. So if somebody is riding a bike and something happens to them or to a passenger or to, like I had a young man a couple years ago hit a BMW, right? My insurance, it wasn't worth me to call the insurance company to have them to handle it because, it was a fender bender and I just paid her out of pocket, but I was covered. Now let's say he gets hit on that bike, then I still have to cover it. My business has to cover it. So earlier we talked about the limited liability company. This particular business I'm telling you about is under a limited liability company. So the insurance is attached to the LLC. So if something were to more, catastrophic were to happen, they couldn't come and get me and take me to jail because he's operating something that belongs to my business. That's one aspect of business insurance. And then the other is covering everything under the umbrella. If there's a fire and everything burns up, well, the insurance company, I can call them and say, hey, all of my bikes are burned up, and they have to write me a check for the value, even if it's amortized. It's appreciated in value. They have to write me a check for that because I'm paying them a monthly premium to keep my doors open and make sure that I'm covered. So that business insurance allows me to still be okay and take care of my family if something in my business happens. Did I explain that okay?